right, welcome back to TV47 Weekend Edition. You are watching Her Say, and this is the favorite part of this broadcast, rather. Remember, yesterday was World Press Freedom Day, and while we celebrated the milestones that we have made as members of the press, right here at TV47, we scooped not one, not two, but 4 outstanding awards. And the juicy part is, from TV47, we got an award of the Journalist of the Year, and that went to our very own health and science reporter, Elizabeth Atieno. And we also have Violet Auma in studio tonight, who scooped the award of the best gender reporter. Welcome to studio, ladies. How does it feel to be winners? Let's just start at that. Okay. Violet.
Awesome. For me, I can say I feel good. Because it's not very easy to do something and then people appreciate you. So for me, I feel appreciated for the efforts that I've done. And yeah, it sort of just jumpstarts the potential in me to continue doing more.
Elizabeth, not only the best health reporter, but the best journalist in Kenya 2024. What does this win mean for you?
Oh, to be honest, Odida, I am so grateful to God. This is something that I least expected, to be named the Journalist of the Year, to clinch that award. It's something that I never expected at the early onset of my career. And I really, really thank God for that. And I am so, so happy. No amount of words will ever explain what I'm feeling in my heart right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So on your appreciation message, you said that you are dedicating your award to the people of Ilmanyang.
Yeah.
Is it Ilmanyang?
Ilimanyang.
Ilimanyang community.
Yeah.
What was your vision when executing this story? Did you imagine that it was going to emerge as the best storyteller health report, or rather did you imagine that this is the story that will make you the best of the best?
No, I'll be honest. That's not what I was expecting, and that was not my objective while I was pursuing the story. I only had one objective, and was to see to it that the Ilimanyang community, who are only 47 by the way, get the help that they so much need. Yeah. So far, I'm coming to you, Violet, but so far, do you think that this small boys, these young girls and women, and the 35-year-old man that I saw in your story, yes, do you think that they have been catered to? I have hope for that. I can see it coming. I can see light at the end of the tunnel finally, because now I'm seeing so many people asking about the story, and this is something that I truly, truly waited for. The story aired on the 6th of January 2024 this year, and for all these months, about 3 months, I have anxiously been waiting for help to come. I almost lost hope, but now I see help is finally here for the Ilimanyang community, and when they see this, I want them to know that help is finally here. Wonderful. We are looking forward to you going back to bring us the update on how the Ilimanyang community people are doing. Violet, your story is about the rights of the intersex community. Tell us about your end goal. What are you looking forward to achieving, and did you achieve it?
Yes. I did a story about the plight of intersex persons in the country. You realize that these are a group of people that rarely speak up. I wanted to be their voice, because again, at the end of this, the day, they say we as journalists, we are eyes and ears of the society. So we really need to look out of such and, address them, give them a platform to voice out their issues. So that is the reason as to why I wanted to just be a platform to air the stories. And that is basically what I did. And after that, I really thank God, because they got a platform that they had never gotten, which is they had a meeting with the county government in just trying to, help them address the issues that they had addressed in the story. Yeah.
So this came after your story of the rights of the intersex community.
Yes, yes.
Did you get maybe the opportunity to follow up on this?
So currently, we have been meeting with them, because initially, before even I did the story, before we published the story, I decided to go attend their monthly meetings, just sort of to create a rapport with them before now, you know, they open up and share their stories with me. So it wasn't like a one-day story that I did. I took like, it was 3-4 months, you know. It was just, first of all, is just create a rapport with them, meeting them, you know, and getting some of the stories. Because again, at the end of the day, you know, like as a journalist, you don't know it all. You really need to learn and get to interact with them. How do I address them? How do I ask the questions? So that is one of the things that I had to set out to do first, before now, later on, now engaging them. So after we aired the story is when now the county government came in and they were like, we didn't know that these people exist, because you realize in 2019 census report, they were only identified as 1,524 in the country. But the people that I was able to reach out to them, there are a number of them in both in Kakamega and Vihiga County. So, and of them, of course, some of them were saying they were not even able to come out and say, I have an intersex kid or I am an intersex person, because of stigma. And of course, those people who, you know, used to go and, you know, ask questions about, you know, the census, whatever, they were with the elders in the community. So they feared if we open up and we have, you know, an elder here, he will go out and tell people publicly that I am an intersex person, and because of the stigma that comes with it, they were not ready to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You seem so passionate about this gender reporting, this topic. How is your experience like? When you are conducting maybe your reports, your research, who is your target audience?
General public. I say general public, but also the lawmakers. General public, because one, we need to sensitize the community how to deal with these people. You know, it could not be intersex persons, but again, even female and male as well. At the end of the day, we need to address their issues and create, you know, give them the equal opportunities in the society. So for me, everybody, the general public was my target audience. But also, when we are coming up with laws and regulations in the country, we really need to ensure that we cover each and every person and each and every gender to be included. Yeah.
Elizabeth, now I know you do health reporting, Violet does gender, but you see, when we talk about gender reporting, usually our men don't feel included in this topic. Do you think that is the case? For us as journalists, they feel we do not include them in gender reporting.
Yes.
And why is it so? You said yes.
Yeah,
why
yeah.
don't we include our men? Why don't we give them the platform as well?
I don't know why we always perceive, when we talk about gender, we always think it's always about the women. For me, I'm a strong advocate for gender equality, and that entails, in our quest of empowering the women, we should not forget the men as well. So I think even men should be brought on board when we are discussing about gender reporting. Even men experience GBV, and we as journalists, it's our role as journalists to actually tell such stories about men also going through GBV. So many stories are being told out there, but we don't really dig deeper into what is really ailing our male gender as well.
Yes.
So I think we should not just let them go and we feel, oh, they're okay, they are strong, there are so many or something. No.
So the change begins with us as the eyes and the voices of the society.
Yes.
Now, this is your docket, Violet. Why don't we give our men the same platform as we give the women at this age and era where we advocate for equality? Why don't you give them this same space as we give our women?
Actually, that is what we try to do as journalists, to give them, you know, a fair playground, sort of. But again, at the end of the day, what I can say is because of misogyny and patriarchal society. So you realize that we believe in men should be doing this. Men should not come out telling the people or society about this. You're supposed to be a strong man. You can't say this. Your issues cannot be addressed this way in the public or something like that. So that is why they believe, like, when we talk about issues, gender is about women and girl child and nothing about men. And if at all we have to, then they are looked upon as lesser men or female something like that. But I think all that we need to do through our reporting and everything, we really need to sensitize the society and the community at large, but also the government to play their part as well in just ensuring that we create a platform whereby all these people, like gender, male, female, and also the intersex persons that were recognized by the government in 2019 census as the third gender to be brought on board. And we talk about these issues, about each gender's right and all that.
Are you okay telling us your next project on maybe the gender, so we can really just see how the winning team thinks? Do you have a plan?
Okay, we don't want to, our cards are still under the table, so we don't want to tell them, but good things are coming, more and better stories are coming, yeah. So they should just wait and see.
Good stuff. We'll be waiting. Now, Elizabeth, what do you think sets your reporting apart? Now, that has really contributed to you winning such a prestigious award? Journalist of the Year award is not something small. You are recognized in the whole country. What sets your reporting apart from the rest of us?
Yeah, so I think I should just start by telling our viewers what my story was all about.
Right.
Briefly, we've just been saying Ilimanyang community, just did not tell what the story was all about. So my story that aired on the 6th of January this year, 2024, is dubbed A Sweatless Survival. Now this story is about 47 members of the Ilimanyang community from Kapua and Kalokol in Turkana County. So the most interesting or shocking part of this story is that this community do not sweat. Members of this community do not sweat. And instead, they have to pour water on their body to regulate their body temperature. You can only imagine, not even in your wildest dream would you ever imagine that there's someone out there who cannot sweat. And you can only imagine how hot Turkana is. Yeah, so they cannot sweat. And also they have a challenge with water and food. They cannot even consume the hard foods, stock of maize. They only consume soft meals like rice, and that is also scarce there on their part as well. So when I was telling this story, my main objective was to see to it that this community gets because first off, they do not have water, they do not have food, they cannot sweat, they have to regularly pour water on their bodies. And also some of the physical features is that if you realize they don't have eyebrows, they don't have eyelashes, they have very dry skin, very dry, and also they do not have hair. They have little to no hair at all. Yeah, and the worst part is there's still no medical cure for their illness. Previously they were 99, but some of them have died, and they're now 47, 21 being children. Unfortunately, they die at a very young age. And so the community right now is embracing intermarriage as one of the preventive measures to help it's a genetic disorder. So to try and just bring about the balance in genes. Yeah. So I also interviewed the doctor, and medical research is underway, and I really hope that this award will bring on board so many medical researchers to just try and find treatment for the Ilimanyang community. They are very happy despite the challenges they're facing. And yeah. I really look forward.
I saw you also talked to the area MCA, and he said they're pushing a motive to have these people, this community helped.
Yeah.
Do you think that so far they have been able to achieve any sort of assistance or help from the government?
For now, from the county government, I'm made to understand they provided water for them. Yeah, our correspondent Kitty Omika went, and yeah, they provided water for the ones in Kalokol ward. Yeah, so we're almost there. It's a work in progress, but I really hope that more and more help will come in handy, especially medical researchers to just come on board, find a cure, because there are so many people with the condition suffering in silence. They don't know where to go, and it also needs a lot of money, especially if you want now to get the sunscreens for them, yeah, because they need to have the sunscreen, but for them, since they live in very harsh environment, they do not have that. So they just have to pour water, but they don't have water. We also saw the story of Selina Apitet, a mother of 9. 5 of her children are living with severe symptoms of the disease. Unfortunately, one died while he was on his way to fetch water back then in 2019. So you can only imagine, yeah. Yeah.
I had a teaser of that report. Is it available maybe for a viewer? All right. Violet, now, what do you think sets your reporting apart? There were very many submissions in the gender reporting category. What do you think you did different that made you the best of the best in this category?
I think my story, according to me, was unique because I was talking about a muted gender. Mostly, you look at many of the things, and you talk of the documentation. Let's start with documentation. For example, we only recognize male or female. Schools, we have male and female, boys and girls, and all that. So I thought of being a voice of a muted gender in the society, despite the government recognizing it. There is nothing much that is being done other than just recognizing them in a census report. So I believe probably that is the uniqueness in my story, and probably that is what really maybe made the judges pick it as a story. But also there are a lot of challenges that they face. I met a woman. She's an intersex, the husband is an intersex, they have an intersex child. So, and their story is the same as that woman that I met in Vihiga, that they have 3 intersex kids. They are home, no one visits them. And they say it's like tukona ukoma, leprosy. So no one visits them. I mean, like, it's sort of they're in their own world. A reason being they're intersex. So for me, I believe like I really wanted to tell these issues, the plight that they are going through, the challenges that they are going through. Even just naming this kid, I mean, you give birth to an intersex kid. Are you going to give this kid female names or male names? Am I going to take this kid to school wearing a short or a dress? Am I going to take them to a boarding school for boys or girls? A woman narrates a story whereby this nurse or doctor tending to a kid and is like calling everyone in the ward to come and see some miracles. And for them, these are just but human beings. I felt so bad when this woman says, probably God wanted to create or to give me twins, but gave me this kid. And when it happens, these are some of the things that they're grappling with. How do I go about it? How do I even tell the society about these kids? So they tend to, keep them indoors and all that. So for me, despite them really wanting a platform to share their issues and their grievances, there's a whole lot of stigma in the society. So I just decided, let me be a voice. And I think this is one of the things that probably the judges looked at. They felt like this is a unique story among other stories. But what I can say is that all stories are good, but probably this one probably is what set my story apart.
All right.
Yeah.
Violet, is this your very first award in media since you started?
No.
Tell us about the others.
90% of my feature stories, the awards that I've had, the health stories. Actually, this is sort of health and gender story as well. Yeah, but most of them are health stories. And the reason as to why I chose to do such stories is that most of the people in the media look at them as boring stories, not interesting, not sexy. Yeah, so,
do you think so, Elizabeth?
Yes.
So I decided like, okay, let me go for it. I mean, people say it's not sexy, let me make it sexy. People are not saying, people are saying it's not interesting. Let me try to bring the interesting part of it so that you can see these are also interesting stories or topics that you can as well, do stories. Yeah.
So if you're watching at home, this is how winners think. Elizabeth, is this your very first award since you started? This is how many years have you been in this profession?
Okay, so I joined TV47 on the 20th of September 2022 as an intern. Wow. Yes, and they retained me because they saw the potential in me. And that's why I am truly, truly grateful to this media house. Yes, and no, this is not my first award, but it's bigger than I ever imagined. I had an award with Mark Foundation just the other week as the second best journalist in East Africa.
Wow. And I hope you had that.
Wow, yes.
I hope you guys know that we are very proud of you. So what is your experience like as women in journalism? Violet, let's start with you.
It's been challenging, but also interesting. As I said, and my colleague here, we decided to pick on stories, or rather topics that many people will look at them as uninteresting stories. So for me, I'll say it is interesting on my part because I decided, let me do this. But also too, doing a story, spicing it with data and all that is something that people will not even want to do as well. But for me, it's been an interesting journey for me to, just do this as a media person, but also as a woman. Yeah, so not much of the challenges, but interesting and beautiful journey, yeah.
All right, now Elizabeth, the Journalist of the Year, this award, what do you think what change has it brought to your life this far? Now, you just got it the other day, but what do you think is that impact that it has made in your life?
It has made a
How are your parents feeling?
Oh my God.
To begin with.
I'm sure they're watching right now, and they are so, so happy. My parents and 3 siblings are so proud of me, and they are so happy, and I thank them for their support. They have been really, really supportive. And this award, oh my God, first off, I did not expect it at all. I did not expect it, and when I was named yesterday, I just didn't know even how to react at first. I even broke down. I'm sure you've seen the videos, because I was so shocked. I didn't expect it at all, And today I am seeing so many congratulatory messages, and I thank each and every Kenyan who has taken their time to just congratulate me. I am so humbled and honored, to have clinched this award. It's big. It's really, really big.
So were you expecting it, Elizabeth, when you were seated there at the crowd?
Yeah.
And they mentioned the Journalist of the Year award goes to Elizabeth Atieno. Were you expecting this?
No, I did not. I did not expect it at all. I was in shock. I almost fainted. Have you ever seen darkness and light all at the same time? That is what I felt at the moment, a whole mixture of emotions. And I am so honored. I think maybe the main reason as to why they chose me for this particular award is the uniqueness of my story again, the uniqueness, just as Violet mentioned. I think it's really, really important to each and every journalist out there. Yeah, just let your story be unique and true to our name, the home of untold stories.
Yes,
yeah.
The home of untold stories. Now, you've mentioned something about make your story be unique.
Yeah.
Tell us about now picking stories and making them as unique as possible. Just before we get into now you telling us that in overall now the essence, tell us about how yours is unique. We find that it's a sweatless community. I know others were unique as well.
Yeah.
But what is that? I asked you this previously, but what is that sets yours apart?
Again, I believe it's the uniqueness of the story and also my sources. Yeah, you see, even how you tell your story as a source matters, I believe. And there was, for them to get that platform and just share their story as well. And maybe, I believe maybe the judges saw that, and I'm so happy about what really happened. And of course, I would also like to thank my camera lady, Marion Chebet, and of course our location driver, Dennis. We went through very tough moments while covering this story, but we sailed through, and here we are, we won.
All right, so you say it's all teamwork for you to be able now to get to where you are at the moment. Now tell us, what advice would you give to just a young lady who's just starting up in this field of journalism now that this conversation is about Hasi? What is that one thing that you have for that young lady who is just starting off?
First off,
from the Journalist of the Year.
Okay. Let me just share the little knowledge that I have. First off, I would like to advise all upcoming journalists that it might be a dicey industry, yes, but it's a fair ground and there's space for everyone. All you have to do is to fight for your space and you'll always get there. Just know where your strength lies. Just don't be all over the place. Know where your strength lies. Like for me, I know it's health and medical. Violet here knows her strength is in gender. So just know where you are, where your strength is, and go for it. And there's a space for everyone. You can do whatever it is. You can win big.
Yes.
Yes.
The sky is not the limit.
The sky is not the limit.
Violet, tell us, what advice would you give to that young lady who's just starting off?
Don't stop. Keep pushing. For me, this is my first Ajaya award, but this is my 7th media award. So what I can say, keep pushing. I didn't stop, and it's not my first time applying for AJA awards. I've been applying. I've been applying and applying and applying until, you know, it's about fruits. So just keep pushing, and when you feel like you want to get tired, keep pushing again until you get it. Yeah.
There you have it. Consistency is the key. Now let's take a very short break at this point. We're coming back with this conversation on her say as we celebrate our very own stars. Stay with us.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus nikoniwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee, soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
Join us on a journey through the concrete jungles and rising skylines, where every beam, every nail tells a story of progress and vision.
In every aspect of life, you know, you have to look at several dynamics.
From groundbreaking,
Nowadays with the tech, you can check on different websites or you check online and you can see some inspiration. So at least that one would be a direction already. I'll know like what kind of style you're going for.
Right, welcome back to TV47 Weekend Edition. You are watching Her Say. In studio tonight, I have Violet Auma and Elizabeth Atieno, both stars from TV47, the home of untold stories. Now, ladies, how do you see the future of journalism in terms of now representation and diversity? Elizabeth.
I think the future is bright because you have made major strides as an industry.
Let me put it this way, okay. For women rather, we are celebrating women today.
Okay.
What do you see the future like for women in journalism?
Again, I will maintain the future is bright for women. There's a space for everyone. So it doesn't matter your gender. All you have to do is to tell stories that bring change in the society, stories that have impact. Yes, and that is what I would advise each and every young journalist out there. Just come, let's work together as journalists, because only we can bring change in the society. Let's tell those stories, informative stories, and of course the untold stories. Yes.
The untold stories.
Yes.
This is the home of untold stories. I'll keep on reminding our viewer that you are watching the home of untold stories. Violet, tell us about that. How do you see the future of journalism in terms of representation and diversity, especially for women in journalism?
Yeah, in many years, I'll say that we used to see the biasness, whereby...
How many years have you been in this field, Violet?
Actually, I've been here for the last 10 years.
Wonderful.
Yeah, since 2013. So initially, you'll feel like there's some biasness, whereby some men will be told to take up some jobs so that they feel like women cannot execute. But currently, we've seen a paradigm shift. where we see women coming up doing investigative stories. Just in the Ajia Awards last night, we had the best videographer as a female. So these are jobs that, you know, they were taken up by male. So I see women coming up and saying that, hey, we also want our chances, our spaces in this industry. So basically, they are coming for their positions as well. So I see that, as my colleague has said, the future is bright for women.
Right. What you say, women, we are taking up space in the media industry. That is so wonderful. Now, maybe what do you think needs to be done in order to ensure equality in this field of journalism? Now, you said there is some biasness in reporting, in selecting people who do certain stuff in this career. What do you think needs to be done, Violet?
Women to be given opportunities so that they can, you know, show their potential. That is exactly what we need. If at all there is an assignment, we have been tested, and women have been on the forefront leading. And so, as I said earlier, the patriarchal society has been denying women opportunities, but I think it is high time that they're given chances and opportunities and spaces to, you know, prove that they can as well do it. Yeah.
Award-winning journalists.
Yes.
We have to remind them. So what do you think needs to be done to ensure that there is now gender equality, that women are not being pushed behind and being deemed not worthy of certain positions in journalism? What do you think needs to be done?
I think I would urge each and every stakeholder in this industry to invest in young women. We have great potential out there, great talent. And now we have social media, and we can see women making major strides there. We see people trying to anchor in some of the platforms, including YouTube. So I would urge the mainstream media stakeholders to just invest in young journalists, especially the women, because, and even the men as well. Let's not forget our men as well, because they always say, boy child ameachwa. They feel like they have been neglected. And they say, some men actually say, that they feel that this space is now favorable to women as compared to men. Women are getting more favors as compared to them. So let's just invest in talent. Very important.
But do you think women, we are getting more favors than our men?
No. No, I actually, okay, it depends in case by case. But what I believe is that women, they're still struggling to be there. That is according to me, with the people that I've interacted with. We're almost there, but it's not like favors per se, but they believe that women should be given sort of soft, quote unquote, soft stories than, you know, the other stories that they're supposed, you know, to be. A woman cannot execute this. Let a man do this. But I think all we need is a fair playground. Yeah, give us this. Let's see, try us, and you see what we can do. Yeah.
You're breaking barriers.
Yes.
Now, Elizabeth, just tell us, what are some of the challenges that you think, or maybe you as a woman in the field of journalism, what are some of the challenges that you are facing in this career? That maybe you also think that your fellow female journalists are facing in broader length?
Challenges will always be there, Anne, and you just have to face them.
What are they?
For me, maybe what Violet alluded to, sometimes you can see maybe a story and maybe it doesn't fit you because of your gender maybe, and I think it's important that we always remind people that women are the softer gender but not the weak gender. We can always do anything, but I believe like we are getting equal opportunities, if you ask me. I feel there's no single day that I've felt that I have been sidelined because I am a woman. No, not a single day in my career.
Thanks to the Home of the Untold
Yes,
Stories.
thanks to the Home of Untold Stories.
Is given fair opportunity.
Yes.
Violet, what are some of these challenges that you think we are facing that needs to be addressed as women in the field of journalism?
It might not be here, but when I speak, probably I speak on behalf of female journalists in the country and maybe globally. Sexual harassment has been an issue that probably really needs to be dealt with in terms of, you know, coming up with regulations to, you know, provide a safe space for a female journalist in the country and globally, but also balance you know, being this particular society, women have been given some responsibilities to do. So you have your family, a responsibility whereby you're supposed to do this, and now balancing career and family has been an issue also for female. But I think it is one thing that we are trying to deal with it. Yeah. But also we've already talked about the issues of biasness and all that. So those are some of the teething issues that really need to be addressed here to give women a fair ground with male guys. Yeah.
Now, how do you feel maybe now moving forward? Now, as winners, you scooped very prestigious awards. We have Elizabeth who scooped the Journalist of the Year award. So Elizabeth, just tell us, how do you plan on using your platform moving forward to ensure that you bring about positive change as you also just be the advocate, the voices and the eyes of the people of Kenya? What do you think, what are your plans moving forward?
To just tell more and more stories that bring impact to the society. And I'm also praying to God for humility, because when you get such an award and it gets into you, you can lose it, honestly. You can get lost in everything. So I'm also praying for wisdom, for God to just guide me so that I can know the path to follow afterwards. Yes, and I pray that God will lead me towards the right path, and I'm sure everything will align in His favor. So all I'm looking forward to right now is to tell more and more stories, but this award is really encouraging and motivating for me. Yes.
Now, maybe you can just tell us, you do health reporting. What is it about health, Liz, that you're so passionate about? Were you always passionate about maybe being a doctor, maybe being a nurse, maybe being in the hospital corridors? What is it about health reporting for you?
So when I was young, I always wanted to be a neurosurgeon. But kidogo, things didn't go well. So actually when I joined TV47 as an intern, I still did not know where my strength was. So actually I want to tell each and every young journalist out there, well, you still don't know your strength, don't lose hope. You just come try. I tried education, I tried current affairs, I tried business, but I felt like this is not where I belong. Up until when I tried health, now during the COVID-19 pandemic, when I started reporting on health, I would do the research, and I felt like now this is it. You do a story and you feel like you're sort of immersed in it. You are so happy doing it. And that's how I knew that my strength lies in health and science reporting. So here I am, and I intend to do more and more stories on health and human interest as well. I also do human interest and science reporting.
How is it so far for you, Elizabeth?
It's great. So far, so good. Yes, so far, so good.
All right, Elizabeth, Violet, rather, sorry, gender reporting. Tell us about it. How are you finding gender reporting? Like, what is it about it that you want to address to the whole world or to the country?
I believe we can do things equally. Whatever a man can do, women can do better in their agenda.
Yeah.
So I'm fighting for equal opportunities, equal space, and basically we believe that if we have one gender that is probably superior or being given opportunities, then there is one that is being suppressed. Then again, I will also want, through my reporting, to address the unequal opportunities and also the inequalities that are there, especially when it comes to matters gender, and laws and regulations that needs to be put in place, because we also need to put the lawmakers on toes. Yeah. So those are some of the things that I personally really want to be addressed when I'm doing stories about gender. And as you said, when we're reporting about gender, it's not about just women. I'll do a story tomorrow about addressing issues gender, but now we're talking about men, you know, who being not giving chances or opportunities because they are men. So it is not really about a man and a woman. I remember there is a story of a man. He came to me and he was like, I have been assaulted by my wife. I went to report the case, and the way it was treated, and I was even chased away at the police station. They were telling me, what kind of a man are you coming to tell us this and this? So you realize that men are also, you know, facing issues GBV, but they are not, the stories are not being addressed. Why? Because men are not even ready to come out because of the society that we have. How will I be viewed in the society and all that? So when talking about gender, is not about just female. We also have issues men are going through and we really need to address as well. So unequal opportunities, those are some of the things that we also really need to address in my stories.
Did you always start with the gender reporting, or you also explored, like Elizabeth said, she tried several? So what was your very first interest when you got into this field of journalism?
Okay, I'm a correspondent in the counties, and in the counties it's really difficult for you to, you know, say this is the particular story that I'm gonna do. You can't really say that I'm a gender a reporter or a features reporter alone. You do general stories, but then again, at the end of the day, there is this particular story that you just don't, like in a month or in a week, I want to be doing this story. So yeah, I'll say like I do general stories, but again, at the end of the day, I know my niche, I know what I want to do. So basically that is how I purpose to do my stories. But generally I do normal stories, politics and all that, because I'm based in the counties. Yeah.
Now, between the two of you, Violet, you are the longest serving in this now field. Now the three of us seated right here. Do you think that we have evolved from 10 years ago, from the moment you started? Do you see change right now in the field of journalism?
I do. Yeah, there's a whole lot of change. And I think I had talked about it earlier. I mean, like, you know, women are taking up the spaces. And it's like those things that we used to say, oh, this is like cameramen. Now we have camera women, you know. There's not like drivers. I mean, like we have women as well, you know. So it is not even in journalism alone. In other places, we have engineers and all that. So women have decided that this is what we want to do. And I like the fact that even in the media, we have female who've decided like this is what we want to. They're taking up these, you know, difficult, quote unquote, difficult stories. So talk of investigative, where we'll be like, you're putting your life in line, or you're gonna die tomorrow because you're taking up this. But we've seen, you know, women saying we have to do it. We are the eyes and ears of the society, so we have to pick it up. So it is not about the gender. So yeah, I've seen a lot have a lot of change, and women are claiming their positions in the media. Yeah.
Liz, 3 years ago, do you think you've seen any significant change since the time you started? I know maybe you might say it's a short period of time, but maybe do you think that something has changed?
Yes.
In terms
the
of
media space is evolving each and every moment. Yeah, and where the media was 3 years ago is not the same place that it is right now. So many things have changed. We also had the elections, if you're attributing to the gender bit, and we also had so many women on ground doing the polls as well, the election reporting as well. So yes, it has evolved, and I feel like Violet has just said, there's now a space for everyone, and women are being brought, more and more women are coming on board to lead this industry. Yes.
So what do you have for the people watching us at home? Maybe what encouragement for those journalists watching you at home, watching it now, award winners? What is that word that you have for them back at home?
All I can say is anyone can win. If I was able to clinch this award, anyone else can. Something that I never expected myself. All you have to do is trust in God and believe in yourself and go for it. And also I would like to encourage journalists, when you're doing a story, don't just do it for awards. Just tell the story to have a positive impact to the society. Let it have a positive impact. Don't just do it for the sake of you. Actually, when I was telling this story, not even in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that I would clinch this award. But I just submitted to the Annual Journalism Excellence Awards. Of course, people kept pushing me, you need to submit that story. So I did, but I never expected anything. All I wanted was maybe for so that help can come to the Ilimanyang community. And I'm so happy because I see that day coming soon, and they'll be able to get the support that they so much need. Yes.
Violet, what is your word to the hopeful journalists watching you right now who are also looking forward to submitting their stories to a jury and maybe also clinching awards in various categories? What is your word for them?
The journalists the upcoming journalists, the young journalists, be you. Be you. Be unique. I mean, like, you don't do stories because somebody is doing it and you want to voice the stories like somebody. Just be you, be unique.
Originality.
Originality, be you. Yeah, and then two, choose your sources well. Like we were told, don't do a story about security or insecurity and you're interviewing an MCA, you know. So choose your sources wisely and be you. Yeah.
You were there yesterday. Now, maybe tell us, what is the criteria that the judges used to pick you? Let's start with you, Elizabeth. What do you think is the criteria that was used by the judges at the Media Council of Kenya, their chair, to pick you as the journalist of the year? Tell us, what is it that they were looking at specifically?
I'm sure, I wouldn't be able to speak for them, but I'm sure they were looking at the uniqueness of the story. That was really key in the criteria they used. And also, I think basically the uniqueness and the sources you put in, the effort and the resources you also put in, and the time as well. Yeah, because they also told us that they were also looking at the investment in time. How long should a feature be? Shouldn't be anything less than 7 minutes. Anything less than that is automatically disqualified. And my story was a 26-minute feature. Yes.
26 minutes.
26
that is almost half an hour.
Yes.
It was interesting. I watched it, so maybe we can also recap it for our viewer later on. Violet, what do you think from what you captured yesterday? What do you think is the criteria that was used to you were 71 who were nominated for the Gender Reporting Award?
I can't really know how many we were though.
Around 71. Three.
You are nominating 3.
The nominees in the gender category were 3 of us. Yes.
So tell us, what do you think from what maybe they said as they were releasing these results and nominations and presenting awards to you guys, what is the criteria that was used to pick you as the best gender reporter?
Other than what my colleague Elizabeth has talked about, I think one of the key things that also stood out was common mistakes, spelling mistakes, probably when you're doing the, the translations and all that. So those are some of the things that they were looking at, but I think most of them Elizabeth has talked about.
All right, Elizabeth, now we are coming to the far end of this discussion. It has been a very wonderful discussion and insightful. I'm very honored to be in the presence of winners. Now, before we just close the curtains, give us your parting shot. What do you think? What can you tell us as we close this discussion, Elizabeth?
I would tell each and every journalist out there that media is not an employment opportunity, but a networking opportunity. Go for those networking opportunities. That's where you'll get your sources. And that's why how you'll get these stories that are so informative and unique, and also the untold stories that need to be told, that create awareness and educate. Because I'm sure so many Kenyans did not know that we have a community that cannot sweat.
Right.
Yes. But because of that story, and through the help of TV47, of course, I was able to bring this story to light. They invested heavily on it, and I mean really heavily. And here we are. We won because of that. And I'm sure, and this award goes to the Ilimanyang community. I dedicate it to those 47 members of the Ilimanyang community, including the 21 children. Yes.
We're looking forward to you going back there and bringing us an update of how they're doing.
Definitely.
Violet, what is your parting shot as we close?
I'll say with many news sources that you have, maybe from at the time when you conceptualize the idea, and many sources that you'll have in your story, what you need to do is also make sure that you have passion for it. Tell the story passionately, and it will come out as a unique, beautiful story. So yeah, it's not really about, I have many sources, I have a unique idea. It doesn't stop there. Let's have the passion in it and do you, as I said.
All right, thank you so much for making time for us. This is your home, so thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and let us have this conversation. We are celebrating you guys as the winners today, and I know that the whole of this week is going to be celebrations left, right, and center, as we should. Congratulations once again, and thank you for making time. Now that brings us to the end of our discussion tonight. Her say comes to a close. Thank you so much. My name is Anne Odida. See you next time, and have a wonderful night.